Hello and welcome to the Artist Way, week 4. I am not feeling very good today. So, in terms of the replay, we are just going to kind of move through it, so that way we have a check-in and we have a space to be together. My friend Michelle, will be popping on and trying to help talk a little bit more since I'm not feeling great, and she'll kind of be my voice for a little bit of this if she can make it. I know she's got some stuff with her family tonight too. So we are in the artist way. We are in week 4, and this one was a hard week for me. The reading deprivation, I don't know about you guys, but I literally got a box from Amazon with 5 books in it this week, which I have been looking forward and wanting to read. And I was like a kid in a candy shop that I could not read these books. So today we will go through um, Artist Way, week 4, which is about recovering a sense of integrity. Hi, Michelle. I'm so glad you're here to help. Um, the reading deprivation kicked my butt, Michelle. I literally got a box in from Amazon with like 7 books that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. And
Right.
and my son got me a book that I wanted to read. So it was like I was like the kid in the candy shop all week. Though I did get a lot of stuff done that I would normally have not done because I wanted to read.
I don't blame you. Good thing to read. Sorry I was late. It booted me out and then I had a meltdown.
Oh, well,
I
I'm glad you
know.
persevered and came back on.
I called Matt. I was like, because
Oh, you're so sweet.
anyway,
Yeah, I don't know. This week was, first of all, I'm not feeling good. I didn't do great on my morning pages. I did okay. They weren't always morning pages. They were more like mid-afternoon in between slumber. I pretty much called out all week. On Sunday, I had like this really annoying day where nothing was going right. And then Monday, I wasn't feeling good. And every day this week, I've felt worse, not better. So
right.
I've really just taken a lot of time to be home, which is funny that I can't read for the whole week. So I got like I uh I didn't know what to do with myself. If I'm home sick and I can't do anything, I can't read, what do I do?
You can't focus. That's the problem.
I actually I ended up doing like some meditation, and I did some Reiki essential oils, and that was kind of like my artist date. I made jewelry. I just kind of was like, I've got the day off. My kids aren't here. And it was actually really nice. I had a nice day, but I literally had to challenge myself. I was like, you could do this. You could not read. What else can you do?
Mm, it's tough. I did actually I posted it in our online group, right? The a picture of what I did.
Oh, you did that scrapbooking. Yeah, that was really cute.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did the scrapbooking and I really did enjoy that. However, I will say while I was doing it, I made it a point to bring it to the forefront. Oh, this is my artist date, like you said, bring it to the forefront. And then you can kind of sit in it a little more, and just kind of relax into what do I want to get out of this artist date with myself? And I wrote down in my notes for the week, like, I did the artist date and I'm making a board outside at the table. And I had to ask myself, do I really enjoy my own company?
Huh.
So this is what came up. And it was like, I guess was thinking it would be more fun. I enjoyed it. However, I think I would have had more fun with others. So it was like a date for myself. I did it for myself, but at the same time, I felt like I was missing something.
Huh.
So I thought that to be kind of strange, and I
Did
just
you
kind of
do the
pondered
did you do
that.
the life pie?
No, I haven't done that.
Because friends for me is really low, like in terms of life balance. And it seems to me like that's what you're craving too.
Yeah, it's like it's not so much, well, yeah, it is friends because like I kind of do this stuff with the grandkids or some friends, like you're saying. So it was kind of like, just sitting in my own self. And for me, I've always had people around. So it's like it's hard for me to be by myself.
Yeah, it is hard to be with our own thoughts, right? Because
Right.
sometimes they're tricky.
So
Um,
that's kind of what I experienced with that this week.
are you still rocking the morning pages?
I'm rocking the morning pages,
Good for you.
however, because I'm away, my schedule has changed. So since I've been getting up so early in the morning at like 6 o'clock, and then I take my granddaughter to the bus, then I come back and I do the morning pages.
Yeah,
But since I've already been up and moving, it's hard, like you said, to get back into the flow of it.
yeah.
Like once you miss that opening of as soon as I get up, it's a little hard because you've already had 1,000 thoughts.
Because those thoughts. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. And it's like I didn't write that thought down, but I remember, oh, I was thinking this when I got up. So
Yeah.
they've been a little more of a struggle. However, I've done them, but also feel like I'm repeating myself over and over
Well,
because
maybe
I
you
feel
need to
like,
listen.
yeah, but I'm repeating it over and over with nonsense. Whereas, like, I always feel like the morning pages, like after that first few days of like the scatterbrain, it started getting more in depth
Yeah.
with finding those little nuggets, right? And growth, and it just kind of feels like I'm just
Well,
saying, oh, I'm distracted. Oh, hold on a minute. I got to do something. Oh, I'm back. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of like I'm not getting, doesn't feel like I'm getting down to business with it. That's what I feel like.
well, it's funny because in The Artist Way, she talks about how we are usually seldom aware of the speed of our own growth, and we keep trying to like judge ourselves, especially like and like morning pages. This is the week when we want to stop and self-sabotage because we're just starting to get to that like precipice of like being able to make a difference. And I know I felt that myself. I was like, don't give up, Paige. Like you don't
Right.
feel good. Like there's a million reasons why you should just stop doing this. But like I feel like this week, like in my journals and things like that, there have been a lot of things that I keep saying, and like because I couldn't read, I did get some of these things done. Like I've been talking about calling my this woman named Lisa that runs this company called OptaHealth that I met like back in January, and she and I were talking about collaborating, and I haven't done it, but this week
Right.
I did because I was like I can do this. I can, kind of motivating myself, and I think that that's we just have to give ourselves the credit like to do the work. Like it says that in the rules of the road. We're going to show up to the page, even if it doesn't make sense and even if it's stupid, we're just going to show up.
Right. Yep.
Uh,
That's what I did.
did you do anything about the extended artist date, like planning a small vacation for yourself or anything?
Well, I'm already going. I'm on vacation.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you
my
are.
life is a vacation, but um
That's
I
awesome.
will be going to North Carolina in a week. I'm already in Florida. I'm visiting 3 different places, and then when
Oh,
I
wow.
get back, I'm going to Vegas for my stepdaughter's wedding.
That's awesome.
So that trip I have been planning for months, and I created a binder for that, like some of the things when I get to Vegas that I want to do aside from the wedding stuff. So I was being creative with that. So that's what I got going on right now as far as like extra stuff.
Started planning about a couple weeks ago, actually. The anniversary of my mom's death, her first year of passing, is on Saturday. And so I took the day off from work, and I'm actually doing a drum workshop.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to make my own 15-inch drum.
Uh-huh.
And I'm using deer hide because you could choose from a couple different animals. And I'm excited about that for me. So even though I kind of paid for it a while ago, I did make some plans for it because I'm excited about that. I don't usually, it was expensive. It was way out of my budget, but I was like, you know what? I want to celebrate the year of my mom's passing with something that I can celebrate and carry with me with joy because like I'm wanting to move out of the like sadness part and
Mhm.
move into like the celebration part. And so
Yeah, and with drumming, you're connecting to Mother Earth.
exactly.
Um, you're celebrating that with that feeling of like just that connection, I think. The drumming. I have drummed, but I don't particularly care for
You know,
it.
I have a couple drums, but honestly, I don't really know how to use them. Like I sometimes I'll
Right.
meditate and I'll use them. So I'm kind of excited about this project because it's going to be we're going to make the drum. I don't know if they're going to teach us how to use it, but I'm excited. I'm really curious to see what it will turn out to be and how it will work.
Yeah, I think when I did that, it was like different patterns, right? Different beats, different patterns, stopping and starting, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I've never done anything like it, so I'm excited. Like a little, it's just a 1 day retreat, but I'll be gone all day from like it's like from 9 to 5, and it's like 2 hours away. So wish me luck that I'm feeling better because I'm going
What day is it?
Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
I'm not going to go to work again tomorrow. I have to have some more time to rest. But
Right. Yeah.
I've already paid $200 for this, so I'm going.
Yeah, you better get there. Just
Did you
rest
write
up.
an
You'll feel
artist
better.
prayer?
I did not. You know what? I found that to be very difficult
Yeah,
because I
why?
sat into that and I was just like, I got nothing. Like, I read the sample, which kind of just seemed like, there's a sample in there. This I did, the buried dreams. So
Yeah.
that was kind of fun. I enjoyed that, finding like 5 hobbies that sound fun, 5 classes, then silly things. Did you do the prayer? We're talking along with
Did.
prayer. Yeah,
Uh,
I just had a hard time connecting to that, to be honest with you. And there was, like I said, the sample in there that
I really like her artist prayer. I just kind of was like, I
like
don't
I didn't understand it. I felt like I just didn't understand what she was trying to say.
uh I wrote, Dear Creator, I offer myself to the great divine as the hands of God's own fortune flooding forth the treasures of light. Through you, with you, and in me, I call on my higher self to be led. I call on my inner artist to create. I
Mm,
promise to listen and trust. I
mm,
align my experiences with Source. I offer you my reluctance, my shame, my regret, my judgments to be transmuted through all space, time, and dimensions.
well,
I
you're good
thank
at that.
Brother
You
Wind
are
for,
good at that.
yeah, I thank Brother Wind for bringing this energy back to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I trust my artist path.
Uh-huh.
I trust that my dreams are not dead. I trust that this is just the beginning. I trust, what is it? I trust Source for opening doors and opportunities for me. And I
Hmm.
say yes to being led. Amen.
Beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You
Well,
have a gift. You've always had a gift. You have a gift. Yeah.
that's kind of working in prayers and meditation is kind of like my comfort zone.
I mean, when I really put my mind to it, I can do it.
Yeah,
I
you
really got to
definitely.
be in the flow to do it. It's like a flow for me, where it might come naturally to you. I have written poems and different things, like in the middle of the night, you wake up and you have to write or something. I've done that, but that inspiration doesn't hit me that often.
I remember when I was a little girl, my mom's friend, who I called Aunt Deb, she gave me a journal and she told me that I should write. And so I had like a little book of poems. And so I've always really liked writing. It's
Mhm.
but I don't but I'm very self-conscious about my writing because I don't have the best spelling and editing, and then AI's made everything's weird because, if you put something in AI, then you kind of lose your voice, and it's all just kind of weird. So I still haven't quite figured that out yet.
Um, did you want to go over the buried dreams exercise?
Did you do that one?
Yeah, this is the one I did.
Yeah, I didn't do this one. Tell me about it.
List of 5 hobbies that sound fun. And which some of actually softball, weight sculpting, like using weights to sculpt your body. I've always wanted to do that. Crystal crafts, traveling, of course. And for my dog, I always wanted to try agility training with the dog.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So that was something that I was like, oh, wait, I will tell you, like, okay, so then after that, I did a language class, like 5 classes that sound fun. A language class, interior decorating, cake decorating, cooking class, exercise classes.
Nice.
And these are meant to really just, like you said, bring out your creativity,
Yep.
inspire you to move forward and build on your dreams for your future self, right?
Right.
So, we always like list 5 things that you personally would never do. That sounds fun, which it was like, oh, oh, yeah, I could never do skydiving,
Yeah,
deep
me
sea
neither.
diving, snorkeling, motorcycle riding. So they were like fearful things for me, So that was interesting to think about. Oh, I would never do them. Why would I never do them? Because I'm living in fear. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like those are things that I'm afraid of.
I love how she calls us recovering creatives because we kind of we kind of all forget that we can have fun in this life. So a recovering creative, you have to think about like what would be fun? Huh? I'm so serious all the time. What would be fun?
Yeah, these sound fun, but I'm still fearful of them.
Yeah.
And oh, I like the silly one. List 5 silly things you would like to try once.
Yeah.
Dog sledding.
Huh, yeah.
That would be cute, right?
Yeah.
Horseback ride and swim with dolphins, the balloon ride, walk on water. I was like, oh, I'd like to walk on water.
Got a lot to do with dogs. Your
I
puppies.
do, don't I? Dog sledding, sleeping under the northern lights.
Cute.
So it just brings about your creativity and makes you laugh and makes you smile and think of things that there's so many things in this world, in our life that we can do. We're not limited, right?
Right. We limit ourselves for sure.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. So that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, the hardest part about this for me definitely was the reading deprivation. I didn't realize how much I read. I really, really do.
Yeah, and I don't read enough because I get distracted.
I really liked the time traveling. There's something about the time traveling exercises that I really like because
Yeah, you do.
I like that kind of shamanic aspect of like inner child and future self and kind of merging those timelines. And so I did kind of meditate in with both like the 80-year-old self and the 8-year-old self.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
uh, my 80-year-old self was pretty sassy and fun and like confident. And then my 8-year-old self was like, ew, what are you doing? You're boring. And I was like, okay, fine. It's like,
Right.
you need to play more. You need to have fun more. And I am way too serious for someone who like has a business that talks about doing improv and play based. It's really because I do that because I'm trying to teach myself how to do it because like I'm seeking the laughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I did clean my house a lot this week because I wasn't feeling good. I have a little office space that I never go to, and I kind of cleaned that little chair. And that's where I did my jewelry making this week, which was a big thing for me. It's been on my to-do list for like ever.
Oh, nice. What kind of jewelry did you do?
I have been trying to let go of stuff though. I'm so sick of the clutter in my house. And
Mm-hmm.
and she was talking about letting go of old stuff and making way for new stuff. And I was like, yes. I was like, I want to do that. I know that a couple years ago I did a declutter challenge where you let go
Right.
of one thing a day
Mm-hmm.
and it adds up. And then at the end you can kind of, and I was like, oh, that would be fun to try to let go of one item a day. Today I threw away like a blouse. I was cleaning out my closet and it was ripped. And I'm like, I kept saving it. Like, well, if I ever need something for work, then it's a backup. And I've like got so many shirts, I don't have hangers. I was like, get rid of this shirt. What's wrong
Mm-hmm.
with me? So I got rid of that shirt today. I was like, no, not keeping it anymore.
That's cool.
And I was
And
listening. Have you ever heard of the crappy childhood fairy on YouTube?
no.
She's great. She talks a lot about, I've been talking a lot with my brother. He's the one who introduced me to her because my brother and I are kind of, we're processing my mom's death and it's been a year. And, um, he was telling me about the crappy childhood fairy. He was like, you've got to watch her. You've got to watch her. And I watched her today for a couple hours and there was this whole thing about decluttering and as like a sign of like post-traumatic stress disorder for children, like a childhood post-traumatic. And she's like, not hoarding, that's different. She's like, but it's like a procrastination almost of just having too much stuff around where you can't get organized and you can't find anything. And she's
Yes.
like, don't, don't put it down, put it away, like all this stuff. And I was like, yes, I have to start doing this because I've got to start simplifying my life because I'm getting overwhelmed. And then that overwhelm triggers me into like shutting down.
Right.
So that starts with decluttering.
Yeah.
I I've had a bunch of people kind of tell me that they can't do the artist way, and I've had a bunch of people be like they can't come here tonight. And like she talks about that in the course about this is a hard time of the artist way because we're in these early weeks, we're focusing on all the crappy stuff. It's, I internal blocks and negative self-talk and past experiences that might be hiding creativity. Like that's a lot of triggering. And so, her advice is don't give up. Just keep writing, keep doing your morning pages,
Right. Right.
And I think that that was really good advice because if I wasn't facilitating the group, I probably would have been like, yeah, I'm out this week.
I felt like, um, it's like I looked up what does recovering a sense of integrity look like? So I was like, really, what's the definition of integrity, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me look it up in the dictionary. Every once in a while, I like to pull out the dictionary and look up, and it was like the quality of being honest and having strong moral values, principles, and ethical principles, guidelines people live by to make sure they are doing the right thing. And I did sit in that and think about it for a while.
Yeah.
And integrity is such a powerful word in a sense that we get to know ourselves through our moral compass,
Yeah.
but your moral and like your morals change, they flow too, right? So it's like, some people are very set in their ways and they're like, this is how and they're not flexible in that. But I think there's a balance with integrity, your moral values, standards, things you live by. And as you grow older and wiser, that changes over the years. You become a little more fluid. You become a little more flexible. You see things that they're not always black and white.
Yeah.
So that was something interesting. And I just kind of sat in that word for a while and really contemplated it. And I wrote it out in my journal and I was just like, hey, um, what does this word mean to you? Right? I think the hardest part of that would be like um writing down all your moral values and principles and things that you'll stand for.
Yeah.
Write
Integrity
it.
is a lot like authenticity, right? It's like truthfulness. It's like speaking your truth.
Right. So Yeah, so that was interesting for me too. And like I said, I kind of write in this little journal thing, on top of the other journal. It's just a cute little thing I doodle in, right? So it's like on top of the morning pages, when I'm going through the workbook or I'm trying to do the workbook, I have this for it, so I can write each week and then said like synchronicities today. It's like, what were your synchronicities? And I was like, I asked like 3 or 4 times. Oh, let's find synchronicities. I'm just open to receiving, right? And there was none. And I'm like, darn, I want a synchronicity today. And I haven't come across one. So, but the week is still, there's still a couple more days in the week. So I was like, oh, maybe something will happen where maybe I'm just not noticing them.
One thing for me is my mom likes to leave me Chinese fortune cookies.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even eat Chinese food, but I find them everywhere. These fortune cookies. It took me a while to figure out it was from her.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling good. And it says your health will be vibrant and full of energy. I found that in my room today.
No.
And I was
Okay,
like,
there you go. From today on, we'll move on from today.
yeah, yeah. I was like, thanks, Mom. I want to feel better too.
Yeah, get a good night's rest, and tomorrow's a new day for sure.
Well, let's see. Next week is recovering a sense of possibility
Okay.
because I think that's good. And this is kind of like the energy of like the solar eclipse and the spring equinox. We're in the beginning of eclipse season. We've got a lot of astrological things, and like the message keeps coming in of like getting unstuck and like creating new, like what else is possible? What else is possible out there? So I think that the timing for this is going to be really good too, recovering a sense of possibility. Um, Explore how you curtail your own possibilities by placing limits on the good you receive. I think that we were talking about authenticity. You examine the cost of settling for appealing, and I do that a lot. I don't speak my truth because I want to keep the peace. Kind of
Right.
get,
You and me both.
and it's not good. We have to start speaking out a little bit more. Like everybody's being called for that.
Yeah, I think for me, this morning I did a meditation. I also started doing tapping, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I've been doing that in the meditation, and I went pretty deep with that meditation. When you go into meditation, you lose all sense of time.
yeah,
Lost all sense of time. I think like a whole hour went by, but I found so much stuff out about myself and my judgment, you know what I mean? So these things came
yeah,
to the surface for me this morning, and it was like I was crying, like the tears were coming down my eyes because it was just like you sit in that uncomfortableness sometimes. And I think, as you're saying, as you go through this program, you're going to have those ups and downs,
yeah, yeah,
but I feel like I wanted to sit, like, after I got out of the meditation, it was like, I want to be depressed because I was sitting there crying and finding out yucky things about myself, right? And I was like, no, let's celebrate this.
oh,
I
good.
just grew. I just grew like tenfold. You know what I'm
Yay.
saying? So yeah, even though like you're going through this and you're saying, oh, I can't do this week or whatever, because maybe some yucky things are coming up.
Yeah,
You don't want to see them, right? But I look at that as a win. Like I'm like, okay, I just grew so much from that experience. So, and it's all about putting in the work too, right? I mean,
healing is a journey. It's not like it's not a destination. You don't reach it. It's a journey. It's a never stopping journey. We are always evolving and moving and figuring things out.
yeah, so I'm interested in this week about the sense of possibilities. Can you go back to that one thing, the one right before that?
This
We're
one?
talking about, okay, I wanted to reread this. You will explore how you curtail your own possibilities by placing limits on the good you receive. Yeah, that's going to be a powerful statement this week.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I think writing that down and even journaling just about that one statement
Well,
and
one of
extracting
my
from that.
teachers, Allison JK, I love working with her, and she always says, "What else is possible? What else is possible?"
Right.
It's like one of her catchphrases, and that's really, a great question to ask ourselves. Like, instead of being like, you know, what else can, instead of what else can go wrong, what else can go right? What else is possible? Because we're kind of programmed. We have these stories, these conclusions, these assumptions that keep the stories always going in the negative way. And she's trying to be like, well, what else is possible?
Right.
And I love that idea because I
Yeah, and
think that
even
that's breaks us out. That's what gets us unstuck. It's thinking outside of our hamster wheel.
right. And it's at the end of here, it says, ruling out your growth by making others the cause of your constriction.
I
So
do that a lot,
that's
blaming someone else.
uncomfortable to
Yep.
sit in, right? That's uncomfortable too to sit in, but
Yep.
you have to, in order to grow, right? You have to be able to see this is what we do to ourselves.
Yep. Yep.
So this just takes us to another level when we can actually dig in and look at ourselves and say, hey, did I just blame somebody else for this? Oh, am I using this as an excuse to not grow?
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. We do that a lot. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for coming today. I think we're gonna close week 4. I'm not feeling too good. We've got a small little group. I know you've got to pick up your daughters. And then we'll meet back again next week and hopefully we'll all be feeling better.
Thanks for showing up, Paige. I know you don't feel well today.
Uh, I'm here. Woo! All right. Thanks, Michelle. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.